Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves are rolling 6-0 in the playoffs, haven't lost a game, and everybody wants to compare Anthony Edwards to Michael Jordan. Now, George, I have two stats. One real, one not real, and you have to decide which one is the real one.
Let's do it.
Anthony Edwards has scored 503 points in 17 playoff games. He is the first to do it in 17 games or less in the playoffs. Stat number 2. Players under 23 years old to record back-to-back 40-point plus playoff games, there's only two of them, Anthony Edwards and Kobe Bryant.
Welcome to the Sports on Tap Brothers podcast, and I'm George, and with me, always, my little brother, Sammy.
Now, let's tap in and get this podcast rolling.
This one's tough, but I'm going to go with the first one is not real because Jordan had that 61-point game in his second playoff run, so it's getting close. Like, Edwards can't be the first ever. I think the second one is the real stat with Kobe Bryant.
The second one is the real stat. He has back-to-back 40-point playoff games at 23 years old. The only two players to do it. But the other stat is true. He has scored 503 points in 17 games. But there are a few others have done it faster. Luka did it in 16. Kareem. You have Wilt and McAdoo at 14 and Michael Jordan at 15. Sorry, Michael Jordan at 14. So he's actually done it in 3 more games. Not
okay,
less.
But still very, very impressive.
Yeah, he's still hella good. That's the point. Well, George, speaking of all these players, we're going to give you a Anthony Edwards / young NBA players quiz to start today's show. 30-point playoff games under the age of 23 years old. Luke, I'm going to give you one of them. Anthony Edwards now has 9. Okay? 30-plus point playoff games under 23 years old. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Can you name the 8 others that I have on the list here?
All right, do me a favor here and just give me the question like in a very simple form because I have no idea what the question was. I just got the Edwards stat. Just like throw the question.
Name the top 9 players who have had the most 30-point playoff games under the age of 23.
9 players.
And Anthony Edwards has 9 of those games. He just had 8. He had a game 1 against the Nuggets. He had 43, so he moved up to 9, which puts him at 4th in the list.
Under the age of 23.
Yeah, 30-plus point playoff games.
LeBron James.
He is number 1 with 14 of them.
Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan is not on the list.
All right. It's going to be a lot of 18. Kobe Bryant, high school players.
Kobe Bryant is at 3rd with 10. Anthony Edwards just needs one more at a time.
All right. Under 23. Luka Doncic.
He has 8.
All right. So how many of them I have right now?
Well, with Anthony Edwards, 4 of them.
4 out of 8? Out of 9. All right. Magic Johnson.
No.
All right. High school. You need guys who are one and done. High school. No, you don't?
One and done, probably, yes. And some high school, yes. But I feel like it's not as...
Kevin Garnett.
No.
Sean Kemp.
No.
All right. Freaking A.
They are mostly... You have LeBron, Kobe, Anthony Edwards, and Luka. They are more closer... Most of them, not all of them, are closer to Anthony Edwards and Luka than they are to...
Jason
LeBron,
Tatum.
No.
Devin, no, don't. I'm not saying that. Jason Tatum's not on that list. I feel like he's still 19 years old. All right, so this is pretty hard. Actually, I'm not having a good time here. This is not fun.
There should be some obvious ones, like the youngest MVP ever.
The youngest MVP ever. Kevin Durant.
Well, he is on the list, but he is not the youngest MVP ever. He's also at 8. So you have. Edwards has passed Luka and Durant at 8. He was at 8 until last week. But you have now LeBron, Kobe, Anthony Edwards, Luka, and Durant. 4 more.
All right.
And I handed you one of them.
Youngest MVP ever? That's like, what? I don't know. Who's the youngest MVP ever?
Derrick Rose. He's also at 8.
Derrick Rose. Okay, Derrick Rose. Russell Westbrook.
No.
James Harden.
No.
Yeah, I should have known that. James Harden can't even play in the playoffs. Kawhi Leonard.
He also was a six man when he was young.
Yeah, Kawhi Leonard.
Nope. All right, I don't think you're going to get them.
No, just tell me.
Here's how the list goes. 30-point playoff games under the age of 23. Number 1 is LeBron with 14. Number 2 is Amari Stoudemire with 11. Okay. You weren't going to guess that one.
No.
Number 3 was Kobe Bryant with 10. Number 4 right now, Anthony Edwards at 9. He's moving up fast. Trae Young with 8. Luka with 8. Durant with 8. Rose with 8. And at 7 is Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He has 7 of them.
All right. That sounds, that's pretty impressive, though. He's in very, very, very rare company.
Yeah, well, he's moving up. He's probably going to surpass Amari Stoudemire by the end of this playoffs if they continue to advance.
Absolutely.
Well, George, the Wolves, Anthony Edwards, honestly, what are your thoughts? Because this is impressive.
All right, my opinion is the mid-season NBA changes actually has allowed the defense of the Timberwolves to get better and make them a juggernaut. We all know that there was either a memo, a secret meeting, or a change of heart by the referees, and people are being more physical. And Anthony Edwards even said it after yesterday's game. He's like, we're just trying to get up on them, be physical, touch them, push them around, don't let them get in their offense. And the Nuggets can't get in their offense. This change the NBA has done has turned the Timberwolves into the 90 Bulls. You got a guy in Jaden McDaniels, not to be, Jaden Daniels and Jaden McDaniels, the Commanders quarterback in the Timberwolves. That's going to be confusing for years. You have him sitting there being able to be like Scottie Pippen and being long and all this. Anthony Edwards is a pit bull. And then they go into the lane and you got Rudy Gobert, who didn't play last night, who's the defensive player of the year, and Karl Anthony Towns, who's a mobile 7-footer. Like, the defense is phenomenal. We're talking about a team that's like a throwback to the 90s with their defense. And I think the midseason changes by the NBA has affected them a lot in a great way.
Yeah. I think there's part of that. There's also just a part of the fact that you have a young emerging star
that too,
figuring it out, right? I agree it makes somewhat of a difference, but at the end of the day, I think that also I'll give you something that a Timberwolves fan would respond to that is maybe you didn't watch us enough in the regular season, right? And I know you like the Timberwolves, you watched them a lot, but we don't watch 82 straight games, right? We're watching sometimes whatever was on TV, the best matchups. So I feel like Timberwolves fans knew this going into the playoffs. Like, we have a two-way star in Anthony Edwards. We have the defensive player of the year in Rudy Gobert. We have Jaden McDaniels, who is known to be one of the best perimeter, defenders in the NBA. So I think that the rule change helped, but at the same time, I think that at the end of the day, this still would be happening right now in the playoffs, because I think regardless in the playoffs, the rules change, right? So maybe
I think it's like a double whammy.
Season, the rule change. Yeah. But it does change, right? The playoffs, you don't call it the same way as you call the regular season.
Yeah, but I feel like really, like, they were the best defensive team in the league, and then they got this rule change, and they became like the best defensive team in the last 10 years, like on a flip of a switch.
Yeah, and once again, it's, also playoffs. You probably give there's a little extra effort in there that on a Wednesday night in the regular season that you're like, we're down 12, like, it's okay if we don't win this game once in a while, right? Like, in the playoffs, what it really is to me is just Anthony Edwards, man. Like Gobert didn't play it last night, obviously, but Anthony Edwards in these two games in the series, averaging 35, 2.5 steals and a block. He has a true shooting percentage of 67.7%, and he's holding opponents to 27% shooting. I mean, like,
Anthony Edwards is him.
Yeah, and the most interesting part to me was when you looked at Jamal Murray, right? A lot of people make fun of Jamal Murray. Like, I saw on social media, it's like, oh, this is Jamal Murray not against the Lakers, which is also somewhat true. Like, I don't know why he only does like the crazy shit against the Lakers, but in this series, this is the he has a so far or he has the third lowest shooting percentage in a playoff game in Nuggets history with at least 15 shots, and that was Carmelo had a game in 2004 where he shot 6%. I don't even know what the hell his numbers were that game with 15 shots. Then Carmelo also had a game where he shot 18 in 2009. But Jamal Murray yesterday with at least 15 field goal attempts, 16% shooting.
Damn.
That's Anthony Edwards. The Anthony Edwards, what do you call it? The
Anthony Edwards experience.
Thank you. Yeah, it's pretty insane, man. I don't know.
It really is.
I'm proud of him though. He's really changing the game, to be honest.
Absolutely.
And I think at the end of the day, when you look at Anthony Edwards, he is going to be the first. This is pretty much my opinion here. There's a first guy. He's going to be the first like two-way guard that's the best player in the NBA that we've had since Kobe Bryant or Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Because most of the other guys that have been the best two-way players have been the guys like Giannis and Kawhi Leonard, who's like more of a he wasn't even the best two-way. He was the best two-way player, but he wasn't the best offensive player and defensive player. Like we haven't seen that for a guard since like maybe a couple years of Kobe, maybe a couple years of LeBron, but he's a big also.
Right.
But like he is going to be potentially as a guard the best defensive player in the NBA and the best offensive player in the NBA. And we haven't seen that.
And let's not forget, man, he's the guard of the NBA. Like, okay, cool. You want to talk about who's the best players in the NBA? Nikola Jokic, big. Giannis, big. Victor Wembanyama's coming up, big. Jason Tatum, wing. Like, there isn't that
Luka.
guard. Luka, big guard. He's not like a true guard, right? He's he brings
wing guard, like swing guard.
Like Anthony Edwards is going to be the guard. And what is like the most marketable thing in basketball? A guard. Like Steph is not going to be the number one guard anymore in the league. You know, he's getting older. Like we love Steph, but he's getting older. Anthony Edwards is going to be the league's guard. And guards, they are marketable too. Like he's going to be the face of a league.
Kids want to buy those shoes more.
Exactly.
Wear that jersey more. I think that's why you even see some big names that, you know, they still haven't won a championship, but they get some more love than guys like Jokic even. Like you look at Jason Tatum gets a lot of love. He has his Jordan signature shoes because kids can like envision themselves playing basketball like Jason Tatum, even though he's like 6'8", but he's a guard. And
Sammy,
Devin Booker,
not just that,
right?
No, forget those guys. Let's just take a step back, like to other people. Think of Russell Westbrook and James Harden. How much people love Russell Westbrook and James Harden. I don't even think they're going to because they're guards. Yeah,
yeah, I know. I'm just talking about the guys that are like right now the stars, like the stars, because like Devin Booker. Maybe if he was like a small forward, he wouldn't have the D-Book ones, Chapter 1 shoes by Nike. Like it helps that he's a guard that people can look at. Like a young 6'2" kid who plays basketball can look at Devin Booker and model his game after him. And I know not everyone's going to be as strong or as athletic as Anthony Edwards, but he's also somebody as a kid you can watch and say, I can model my game after him. It's not like post-ups only or like just Jokic type of crazy shots. So
absolutely,
it's all about that. That's why people love Steph Curry, right? Like I could fucking chuck it from half court.
No, 100%. That's what it is. That is the mystique behind Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, it's amazing. I'm loving what we're watching, and looks like they're gonna win this series. So, good luck to the Wolves. We're rooting for you. It's a weird series because I love Jokic too, and I love the Wolves, but.
Hey, before the season, Sammy, I told you my three favorite players in the NBA are Nikola Jokic, Anthony Edwards, and Steph Curry. Like this is a very hard series for me to watch because I don't want to see the demise of Jokic, but I love seeing not the demise of him actually, but of his team. But I also love to see the rise of Anthony Edwards. Like it's a win-win and a lose-lose for me either way.
I think it's just a win for the NBA.
It's a win for the NBA, yeah.
Yeah, because I think the casual fan would much rather watch this Wolves team than the Nuggets. So I think it's good for the NBA.
Oh, yeah, totally. No, totally great for the NBA.
Yeah, it'd be great for viewing purposes. Well, Thanks for tuning in today. If you guys want to find all our stuff, the links are below in the description, both on the podcast or on YouTube. If you want to find the audio version or the video version, wherever you're listening, check the descriptions, find all our pages there, and we'll be back multiple times a week. So turn that notification bell on, and we appreciate you guys being here today. And George, you know what we like to say.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks, y'all.